So I get quite a lot of questions about how I get my sound for my videos, so I thought I'd do a quick run through of how I get my sound and my guitar tones using free plugins and stock plugins. So first, here's a clean DI of just a quick riff that I've recorded. I'm going to pop it on this channel, and on this channel I've got some plugins already set up. First, we've got an EQ plugin. It's just rolling off the low end because we don't need it, and rolling off some of the very top end because again we don't really need it for guitars. Next up is TSE 808. It's used as a kind of overdrive pedal just to tighten up the sound really. So it hasn't really got too much drive, it's not affecting the sound hugely. Next up, this is kind of optional, it's a noise gate. Because it's mainly distorted tones I'm using, this is just to kind of help out clear out some of the noise between playing. So the main amp sim that I use is the Le456 by LePou. I typically use the high gain channel or the low gain channel, occasionally use the crunch or the clean, depends what I'm doing. So I'm using the LeCab 2 as the impulse loader. I'm using a mixture of God's Cab and a diesel impulse. So let's hear what it sounds like with those plugins on. So it's sounding pretty good already. What I would typically do next is bounce it out, so I've got a nice take of that, and then use some EQ and compression just to clean it up a little bit more. So on this next channel, which I would normally use as my mixing channel, I start off with the tape saturation, but with the delay set to 0 and on 100% wet. This is acting as purely just saturation, so there's no actual delay happening, but you're getting that tape saturation sound. Now I'd start EQing it a little bit more to make it fit within a mix. Typically it's cutting off a bit more of the lows, cutting some mids, cutting low mids, maybe an occasional boost around 1-2K, and then getting rid of some of the nastier sounds around the 2 to 4K mark. And I might have a second EQ plugin going, which is a bit more finer cuts again between the 2 and 4K. So I'd normally have a compressor running as well, with around a 4:1 ratio and around 1 to 3 dB reduction, nothing too heavy. So let's have a listen and see what it sounds like with those plugins now. And listening again to the previous one, without those extra plugins. And once more with the plugins, and we'll see how the compressor's acting. And I've got another channel strip with exactly the same ones as the one above, and this is just so you can hear what it sounds like double tracked. So hopefully you found that helpful, and you can see that you don't need to be spending a lot of money to start with to get some great metal tones. And if you did find it helpful, leave a comment below and I'll have a look at them all. And thanks again.